everyone. Today's miniature is another one from Marvel Crisis Protocol by Atomic Mass Games. This is M.O.D.O.K. So M.O.D.O.K, with the annoying voice in those early 90s cartoons I used to enjoy so much. Had a horrible voice, but great catchphrases. So, originally released in the comics in October 1967, this character, this really irritating character, was originally human. So scientists at AIM, which is Advanced Idea Mechanics, needed to create an organic computer to analyze the cosmic cube. So they mutated one of their own scientists, George Tarleton, and turned him into M.O.D.O.K, a mental organism designed only for killing. That's what M.O.D.O.K stands for. So Tarleton quickly concluded that AIM would be better with him in charge, and that's what he always tries to do. But he does get thwarted all the time. So even though he has this superior intellect, he can never seem to pull off the tasks that he wants. It seems to be a little bit of a waste of space. So he's got great ideas, but they never ever come to plan. So we'll read the back of the box. And the back of the box pretty much says the same thing. So, simpletons, bow to the superior will of M.O.D.O.K. Yes, terrible voices like that. Which I will be doing every time I use him in our battle reports. So I'm sorry in advance. But yeah, it's quite a large model. He's not the prettiest guy in the world. He is basically a gigantic head, and he's got a like a baby harness around him to support his head, and that's why he's in his levitating chair. So his head's too big for his body, so they had to design this so his neck wouldn't break, I guess. But yes, so M.O.D.O.K never seems to do very well. He seems to get beaten up by heroes all the time and bad guys. So he's not really liked by anybody. So even though he's got superior intellect, he's easily defeated. But wonder if he's going to be easily defeated in the game. So I'll get his cards out in a minute, the bit you will be waiting for, and we'll see what abilities M.O.D.O.K has. So this guy starts with 10 stamina, that's your health. He can move only small. He is a size of 4, so a few superheroes can only throw things. For example, 3 are smaller, so at least he's going to be less likely to get thrown. Costs 5 to hire him on your team. Now, the downside is he has 2 physical defense, but he does have the standard 3 energy, 3 mystic. So his free ability here, his free attack, is range 4. It is 6 dice, so strength 6. After this attack is resolved, this character gains energy equal to the amount of damage dealt. So the standard strike and things like that, but with a bit of a difference. It's actually range 4. So it's a psionic blast, which is a mental attack. That's pretty good, because most of the time it's physical, and it's normally 2 range, for example, because there's normally punches and things like that. But this guy, he's got tiny little stubby T-Rex kind of arms, so he uses a psionic blast. So you roll a wild, you get sap power. Before damage is dealt, the target character loses 1 power for each wild in the attack roll, and this character gains that amount of power, which is really nice. So any wild strips power off people and you gain it yourself, which can power him up to, for example, perform the Doomsday chair. So the chair he's in, he's kind of confined to, is a 3 power to perform. It is a range 4 again. It's 7 dice this time, so strength 7, and it has whirling blades. After this attack is resolved, this character may make an additional Doomsday chair attack without paying any energy cost. The additional attack must target another character within range 2 of the original target character if it does not have the whirling blades special rule. So If you get a wild, there's also bleed. Bleed's very nice. At the end of this attack, this target character gains the bleed special condition. Bleed is always very, very nice. So at the end of your opponent's activation, they will lose an extra point of health, an extra stamina. So we have a 2 energy here. Bow before the will of M.O.D.O.K. Choose an enemy character within range 3. Advance that character small. A character can be affected by the superpower only once per turn. So obviously you can start really messing around with your opponent. Start moving them about. So it's only small, so it's maybe not going to be game breaking, but it's still pretty nice if they're on an objective. Nudge them off, something like that. It's pretty nice. It's only 2 as well, so not massively expensive. I'm not going to do the voices for each of these, but I'm really, really tempted, and it is in my head. So, Imbecile, it's really difficult not to do the voice. All the world is a weapon to M.O.D.O.K. So it costs 2. Choose an interactive terrain feature of size 3 or less within range 3 and throw it long. This superpower can be used once per turn. That's really strong because you can throw it long, so long from M.O.D.O.K. itself. Okay. P-Brain. M.O.D.O.K's genius is infinite. It's really hard not to do the voice. After this character rolls attack or defense dice, it may spend any amount of energy to use this superpower. For each energy spent, this character may reroll one of his own attack or defense dice. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So let's say you're rolling 7 dice here. You can spend a couple more points to change a couple dice. It's really nice. You can do it in defense as well. So obviously his main weakness is going to be physical. But he has a passive ability here. Psionic Force Field. When defending against an attack, this character changes wild results in the attack roll to blanks. It's pretty good, so you're less likely to be affected by special conditions like bleed and sap power and things like that yourself, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like I said, it's going to be physical. He's really going to struggle with it. So on his injured side, look at that handsome face. Who couldn't love that face? He's now left with 4 stamina. That's a big drop. That is a big drop. And if you notice, you do not have your psionic force field. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. So you can then be affected by special conditions from wilds. So once he's in his injured side, run away is what I'm going to suggest. I just think he's a great model. I think he looks pretty cool. I have no idea how he's going to play, but I'm going to enjoy giving it a go. So we also have a few cards. So we have a mission card, just the one, but it is a good old 20 points, which is pretty flippin' strong. Okay, so place 3 rubble piles as map C. Players score 2 victory points if a character they control is holding the core during the cleanup phase. So rubble piles, roll 2 dice. If either die is a crit, that character picks up the Kree power core. That's pretty cool. So a character holding the core cannot perform more than 1 move action. When a character ends its activation while holding the core, it suffers 1 damage if it did not make an attack that turn. So yeah, it's 2 points, but it could really, really hurt. You don't want to do it if you only got 1 health left. But it's a 20-point game, which is really good, which is really, really, really strong. I haven't played a 20-point myself yet, which could be quite interesting. So 3 cards. We have Psychic Fortress, which is unaffiliated. M.O.D.O.K may spend 3 energy to play this card. M.O.D.O.K gains cover this round allied characters gain cover while within 4 of M.O.D.O.K this round. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Cover is nothing to be sneezed at. So I'm panning the camera back a bit so you can see the whole card. Just realised you couldn't see the whole card. So if you didn't know, cover, when you are getting attacked and you are receiving cover, you may change one of your dice to a defense symbol, which is pretty nice. And let's face it, if it's physical, this guy's going to need it. Right, okay, so Aim Lackeys, another unaffiliated card. So it's an active card. M.O.D.O.K may spend 3 energy, once again, to play this card. Choose another allied character. That character may perform a move action as an additional action during its next action this round. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So a bit more use of other characters. Recalibration Matrix does sound very M.O.D.O.K-esque. Unaffiliated again, so all 3 cards are unaffiliated. It's a reactive card, so if something happens, you can play this as a reaction, funny enough. When an allied character is attacking or defending before the calculated success or failure step at the end of the modified dice step of the attack, it may spend 3 energy to play this card. The attacking and defending characters reroll all of their attack and defense dice. So that's a bit of a Hail Mary. I mean, if you completely whiff, go for it. It's quite expensive. I do find, however, Cabal have a lot of rerolls and additional hits and things like that. So that's why I'm kind of aiming for Cabal, because I think A, bad guys are cool, and a bit more accuracy never goes amiss. So, as per usual, with your character, you get a load of tokens. So we have the affiliation, so Hydra symbol, we have the wounds, we have the energy, and we have the mission specific Cree, the core. Okay, the destructions, as per always, are pretty straightforward. There's no numbers on this particular one, but it is pretty straightforward. He's a pretty big guy, nice big chunks, so you can't really go wrong. Very Fantasy Flight-esque, nice square chunks, you can put in square holes, can't really get it wrong. And with this pose, I won't have to sub-assembly either, because I think I can probably get underneath. But that being said, I might just stick the cloud coming out of the chair on the base, paint that up first, paint M.O.D.O.K probably on a cocktail stick or something, and then stick them on afterwards. So that is the plan for the painting. And the model itself, you guessed it, that's a big old base. It's a nice and flat base to put the explosion or the blast off his chair. Look at that face. A face only a mother can love. But surprisingly a lot of detail. Nice wrinkles, bags under the eyes. This guy is an ugly, ugly guy. It really needs a haircut as well. That is not a fashionable haircut. Pudding bowl basin haircut. Lovely. So, once again, mould lines very, very minimal. Detail not bad. I would say above tabletop standard. I mean, you can see the little wrinkles and stuff in his hands. This guy is going to be a lot of fun to paint up. And a lot of fun to play, because I'm going to irritate people by doing the stupid M.O.D.O.K voice. So, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you like this short video. Now, there's not much that I know of about his background, other than the fact that he used to be human. He has been transformed into this killing machine, who's incredibly, incredibly intelligent and gets thwarted at every turn. But considering he's been around since the late 80s, you would expect him to have a bit more of a story. But each time he tries something, he gets shut down. There is a story where he actually got returned back to human form, but he couldn't remember anything that he did previously. There was even a story where he was killed and he was brought back because it turns out AIM needed him, even though they didn't really respect him. So he's a bit of a sad case, really. I feel kind of sorry for him. If he wasn't such a jerk, with the irritating voice. But I used to love him in the Iron Man cartoons growing up. Things like that. He was awesome. An annoying bad guy. Love it. Right. Stay safe, everyone. Catch you in the next video.